my leg. It's cheating.
Do what?
It's cheating.
Yeah. All right. I call this meeting of the Perry Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members are present. This meeting has been duly called. And notice this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Would you all pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, we're so very, very grateful for all the many blessings you brought before us. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. We thank you for the opportunities that you've given to our students over this past school year. We ask that you be with us tonight as we make decisions regarding the school district, that all the decisions we make are within your will for us. Provide us safety and comfort as we move forward. In the heavenly name we pray. Amen. Amen. Do we have anyone for open forum? We do not. Next item on the agenda then is reorganization of the board. And number one, introduction of newly elected board member, Mr. Jeff Schellenberger. Welcome. We've slated up to 12 minutes for a welcome speech. Anywhere from 0 to 12.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Oath of office for elected board members. For the new elected board members, our Vice President, Richard B.A., is going to lead that. So our new ones can
rise, and we can avoid all the Animal House jokes here, since I know some of you are unemployed comedians. It's the oath of office. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I state your name.
I Bryce
Schellenberger, do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office.
That I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of Perryton ISD Board of Trustees and the state of Texas.
Of Perryton ISD Board of Trustees and the state of Texas.
And I will, to the best of my ability.
And I will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
The Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Hey.
Thank you, Mr. B.A.
Jeff, welcome. Wes and Bryce, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Election of board officers. The chair will recognize a motion for election of president.
I nominate Wes Bill.
Second.
Other nominations?
We're trained.
Seeing just one, the chair would recognize a motion to approve Wes Beal as board president by acclamation.
That.
Aye.
So moved.
Motion carries. The motion, a second, and a 7-0.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Would welcome a motion for vice president.
Nominate Richard B.A. Second.
Move to second to nominate Richard B.A. And if you would amend your motion to say, I nominate Richard B.A., I guess I should ask, are there any other nominations?
As well, I would nominate Jed as secretary.
And move that he be elected by acclamation.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do we have a second on that? Then I will repeat it.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Richard B.A. and Jed Simons be elected to the positions of vice president and secretary respectively, and that they be elected by acclamation. Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Reassignment of committees. After Appraisal District Committee, who is currently on the Appraisal District?
And I would choose to remain on there. I've got a couple of projects going, so.
I finally understand the acronym.
I would too, personally. I do know too, with Bryce being at Perryton National Bank, if something needs to be signed or done,
That's true.
it would make it pretty convenient. He's right there.
Yeah, and you're not allowed on pathways or Rafe, are you?
Me?
No.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's on Rafe actually, right?
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I thought there was something with pathways. Your wife was like, Bryce, do you want to be on there?
But since there are no votes, it's merely volunteering for a position.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Unless it's
whatever you want to
assigned.
do.
This is
I'm
volunteering
good either
for a position, or I assign it, one of the two, so.
Do you want to stay on there, or do you want me to take your spot?
Just
That's up to you.
Yeah.
You're on there now.
What else are you on, or what?
I'm on Ray.
You're on, right?
As a representative of.
Well, I was on it before, and now I was on it before I was on the board, so now I guess I'm as a representative of Perryton ISD.
It's just on that one, it's you and me, is it just two representatives? I always lose count to how many of each of these we have.
Newton's on there too.
You're on there too, as a representative of PISD.
Yes.
So
Yeah, there's
representatives.
three on there.
The safety committee still on that.
Chris was on
Then
the
Chris
safety.
was on, do we have
Yeah.
a spot to fill?
I'll do that, safety.
Why don't I just, well, I was gonna say, I'll just let him if he wants, since he's there and it'd be convenient, and then I can check.
That sounds good.
Okay.
If y'all wanna do that for conveniences.
Actually, having both of you on safety would be appropriate, because there also has to be a parent, and both of you qualify there as well. And we don't have any parents.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
That was the new thing I learned last week, is there
Yeah.
should be two parents on that committee as well.
There you go.
So Jed and Noon on safety.
Okay. Superintendent's report, Mr. Brown.
Okay, as we begin, I would simply like to recognize two students who advanced to state in FFA Madeline Chicken Dance, and Cooper Hale advanced to the first round of state for scholarship interviews. And we'll find out this week if they've made the June interviews. They're doing an outstanding job. Two outstanding kids, and want to recognize them for moving forward in interviews for scholarships. Other than that, we've been filled this last couple of weeks with athletics endeavors with our new AD coming on board. He's been traveling around having parent meetings. I hosted him at Lions Club today so that they could meet him and talk with him. He has been gone to work fairly quickly, spending long hours here interviewing coaches, getting programs set up. We're ordering some equipment for the weight room, and he's starting his program right away. So that's been a lot of our time. We have we're continuing and beginning our summer work, which is some of our summer projects where we work on our handbooks. We work on changes in procedures and guidelines. We'll be doing some of those, some of the work you do before the beginning of the year over the next couple of months to get things ready for the coming year. This is busy time for the district office. This is one of our busiest seasons because we're getting things ready. If you look at your list of resignations, I'll update this just a little bit. These personnel have submitted their resignation. Shannon Jackson, and we will miss her greatly. She'll be in here to give her report in a minute, but we wish her the best of luck as she goes to be high school principal in Spearman. She's an outstanding candidate for that, and we're happy to share. I'm beginning to start calling Spearman Perryton West. So it's just
What do you mean
it's
we're
just an-
happy to share?
just an annex. Well,
No.
maybe we're not happy,
No.
but we're in. This is a quiet invasion, is what I'm calling that.
There you
Cole
go.
Underwood, Deborah Molina, Krista Britton, librarian. That was Krista did a lot for us, and we will miss her greatly. Spencer Dutcher, Claudia Johnson. I need to add to the resignations Jennifer Rinker and John Mark Rinker. Both of those were teachers at the junior high, and they have taken positions at Booker. Most of these I think I've updated you on, but just in case I didn't, Daphne Bradley is coming on board as a teacher. Emily Smith is a teacher. Betty Bryan as a teacher. Lacey Thomas is going to come on as a counselor at junior high. She's taking Julie Howe's place. And I need to add Marcy Kirkland to that list. She is coming on to teach first grade math.
Great.
Yeah.
She didn't tell me.
So, and for your information, the following teachers have transferred. Jesus Ramirez, he's our soccer coach. He's going to go from teaching math at the junior high to the high school. Ted Nelson going from science to junior high, from junior high to high school. Same with Leanne Nelson, his wife, from junior high to high school. Joanna Sandoval is going from junior high to high school, and Miguel Escobar is going from the English department. He is now our new choir teacher. And Grace Walsh is who was a teacher at Ludi and did a lot of her teaching at the high school this year because of her certification program. We had to have her teaching some classes at the high school, and she's decided to stay at the high school teaching science. So those are transfers as they stand right now. Probably just the two positions that stay on my mind right now, so that you guys can help me look and cheer me on and pray for us, is we still have an ag teacher opening, and we have the opening that Shannon has left with Ludi Pena. So those are positions on my mind most right now that I'm working on filling. So you guys pray for our district, pray for the Lord to bring the right person to help us further our work here at Perryton ISD. And that, let's see, that I think is my report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Move on to campus reports. I know that some are not here, and I may or may not remember the list that was given to me earlier. So if I call your name and you're not here, you don't have to have a report. But I do see Mrs. Jackson. And I was going to say, look out here. Where's Deb? Okay. It looked like a total ladies' night for our audience tonight.
Hey.
Thanks, Rick.
I see you guys out there, so you must have a big cover chart. But we will start with Mrs. Jackson.
Well, just had a successful year. Read our report. We're still waiting on STAR scores. We might learn some information tomorrow about students who may have to retest or hopefully not. Try to have them ready. So that's really it to wrap up the year for me. I just want you all to know how much I appreciate your support and everything that you've done to get me where I am. I just really appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
From a district standpoint, I've been on here quite a while, and you've had several outstanding stops in different spots for the district, and every place you've been, you've excelled. We will miss you greatly, but are happy for your success. Kind.
Spearman's lucky to get you.
Yes, they are. Thank you very much.
And we're here when you're tired of them.
Answer that one.
Perryton High School. There you go.
Hey. So everything's good. Year's over. Looking forward to summer school and getting things ready.
I would say thank you to you and your staff for a wonderful graduation. Very meaningful. Very done very well.
And thank you for the tans on our foreheads.
Yeah.
I told y'all I had sunscreen. I offered.
At SPF 573 on that.
We'll be peeling here tomorrow.
I still have it right here.
My neck didn't burn.
And you said Miss Wheeler was out.
She is up at Courtney's here
Courtney's here.
to give her a report.
I'm going to be surprised. Everything's great at the junior high.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Everything's great. How can you question that?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Okay, I won't. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gates.
It's all good at Williams.
All right.
Looking forward to another year. It's all good.
Summertime of awesomeness.
I hope so. I hope everybody enjoys it. Well, most of my district people there taught summer school. It's kind of nice if they can get a nice one. Because they also do ranger camp. So
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be nice that they have a break. Look forward to having them back.
Yes.
Questions? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Kinder. And Wright.
Everything's great at Kinder and Wright. We finished out the year with lots of fun activities, and we just celebrated all the students' growth over the year. It was a fantastic year at both buildings. Have any questions for me?
Ready to start swinging hammers this summer?
Yes. We
They've
have
been over there looking around.
the first phase that's ready to start in July is pretty well cleaned out. Some storage buildings, I believe, are coming tomorrow. So those things will be put in storage. We're making some adjustments just in the office and things to get everyone ready. Our theme for the year, right, is construction and flexibility.
That's cute.
You know, we're very excited at Wright to be able to start that, and everyone has just moved their rooms and everyone's super excited. So yes, it'll be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The director's report, we have maintenance report here. Mr. Kemp is
Mr. Kemp is collecting samples with a Department of Health person that has had limited time, so he's running around the district.
The water.
Yep. So that's why he is not
As
here.
rare as sometimes you can say this, maybe he would rather be here than collect.
I think that is true.
Just this one.
Just this once. Ms. Walker.
Don't have really anything to add. We started ordering for next year today. We have to have it ready by May 31st. They want it that early in order to cover everything, and our first order will come July 31st. So
And you still may not get what you ordered.
this is exactly true. That's why they want us to order 2 weeks, or they want it now, and then
Insane.
they'll bring it 2 weeks beforehand. But other than that, we went and put signs up around town for summer school and trying to encourage more kids to come for that. And
Yeah, the summer feeding. When is that? It was in the last board book, but not this one.
May 29th, right, through June 9th, 20th.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. But
I know what I'm gonna I take it one day at a time.
it's okay. Are we allowed to put those on the radio? Closer to. Yeah. Are we gonna do that?
We're pretty much there, so I don't know.
I'm sure they could speak you in. Or do a little.
Because Monday we won't be here, and Friday we're not here. So I've got Thursday and I've got.
Thank you for putting up.
Might be able to just add a community calendar.
Yeah, community calendar would be good.
Both could just announce
Yeah.
that and it wouldn't
Yeah.
require.
Good job.
I don't know what you do to do that, but
Yeah.
we've gone in the past and really it hasn't brought us any more. If they're gonna come, they're gonna come. If they're not, they're not. I will say that we did get our summer school first week menu, and we have a very small order because we have a lot that we're using that we currently have, and we had to get some more commodities, and so we aimed that towards summer school to keep us, because for the budget wise, because we have to at least have 2 people, even though there's not that many going, we have to have one to serve the meal and one to cashier. You can't have one doing that. So anyway, but we're ready to go. And
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hewlett.
wow, that's early.
Mhm.
Hi,
We follow the order that is provided.
I got it in early.
5 minutes ago.
Mhm.
The only thing I need to add is we still haven't had any bites on speech. So the speech team met with Presence Learning this week, and we tentatively talked about a contract for next year. I am still praying that we are still in positions.
The monitoring report, the non-compliant areas,
Yes,
it's a heck of an acronym. The PLAAFP.
present levels,
Clap.
academic achievement and
functional
functional performance.
Plaque. There we go.
Wow.
Plaque.
Mhm. Yeah. That's
Is that
word,
part of a
isn't it?
normal IEP meeting?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Is there normally an SSA employee in all of our IEP meetings, or?
Yes, but the class and the goals are written by the teachers.
Okay. But y'all can ensure that gets done by being there and asking about it.
We are going to ensure that it's according to, it's been done, but it wasn't done to the extent that's being.
Okay. So it was being done, they just wanted surprisingly more.
They want to be,
Mhm.
Okay.
we're going to do that.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Other questions? Thank you very much. IT department. I know I saw him. There he is.
There he is.
So we're going to be working on some summer projects, mainly going to be in preparation for the pilot for making a building. We're going to be installing subnet, and there are some cables that are not performing well. We're pushing 1 gig. Every cable is pushing 1 gig the devices. We're going to be replacing those.
Other questions? Thank you very much, sir. Decision letter. I have a question.
That's E-rate.
This is all still.
That's all still technology.
Communications, there we go. The right page. Ms. Stacy?
I don't really have anything to add in this questions.
Desiree, a couple pages down.
Okay. I know that Dale Schaefer out of Canadian is going to come Thursday. He was asking the radio stuff for me with Ivan to try to get that permission to get it all installed and use next quarter.
The grant that you guys applied for, the extra 150, is that just the same one that we apply for every year? Is that a different?
It's just a continuation, so it's the second cycle of the
Safety grant.
The one that we got.
Yes. Started out with 200,000 and then they released like another 350 and then
150.
So it's
yeah.
supposed to be for like facility enhancement.
Same thing.
and stuff. So we're hoping that we can try to use some of that funding. Bond funding.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then on the mutual link, I know when we originally talked about, all the multiple uses for that. The salesman's presentation is sometimes somewhat different than actuality.
Oh.
No way.
I'm being kind tonight.
You just explained so many things in my life.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's why I'm here, Wes.
Does it appear with what you've seen thus far that we're still going to be able to use some of that extra functionality of like maintenance groups and different groups of being able to utilize the cell phones and the push to talk through the mutual link? Or is that something that's going to be steps down the road once they get the police department and sheriff's hooked in?
I would anticipate it would be later, just because we want to use the safety side of it or use it for other things, obviously. But I don't know. We would just look at how fast we can also add how fast we can.
So there were several features on that. I thought they were really cool as we added them as we went along. Pretty beneficial for the district.
Seamless. I'd like to see it run.
Seamless. That's the word we're looking for.
Thank y'all for doing the door check.
We are still doing them.
I know, because of summer school.
Here in high school, since there's getting summer school, but we do not.
Thank you very much. Mr. Felix.
Yep.
How are y'all?
Good.
Good. I don't have a whole lot to add. I do have an updated mileage report that I told you all about.
Thank you.
The first column.
So, sure.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Felix.
Yes, sir. Okay. First column is kind of where we started at for the year on the vehicles. You can see the ones that were filled in and the updates that I gave throughout the year. The May 17th column is just the last time that they were filled up. Everything was filled up. You can kind of see how many miles. I didn't add everything up and subtract and divide and carry the one on some of them. So you can see kind of where our ending numbers are for vehicles, activity buses, all that good information. Are there any questions on that y'all can see right offhand?
No, I appreciate you doing that. There, you said in your report we still have some issues with several buses that are down. Are you talking about some that are down for a while? Are there certain areas where having problems, more problems in?
We have a couple that have, like one of them, for instance, Jeff thought was a ground wire. He now has figured out, we're hoping it's the alternator. It was surging and throwing it into limp mode. So it's things like that that he's working on. There's another one that's been down for a while that sits right next to the bus barn on the front that started out with, I'm going to throw a number, say 30 codes that it was throwing. And it's down to like 2 now. So we're hoping to narrow things like that down.
How long has it been down?
I know all year. Now from there, I'm not certain. I know it's been there all year.
Okay. The large softball van?
Yes.
That really is there, I guess, missing miles, or is that just 200 that we had it all year and only 200 miles on it?
All that shuffled kids from the high school to softball.
Well, that's December to February. That's 2
okay.
months, not
So-
1 year.
Yes, it's not.
That's
That's what I was saying.
And they didn't get it here,
That's
so
what
they
I was
were
checking.
Yeah, they didn't.
But okay, that's what it's. I got you.
I did get that number this afternoon, and that final number is 127,422. 127,422. And I got that number right after I had printed it. I forgot that. But yes, sir, that was just a show.
But that makes sense then.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Other questions, comments? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to cover any of the other stuff?
Yeah, well, I was just going to tell you guys, the bus we discussed last time sold to another district. So that one's off the market. We're looking at a couple more possibilities. We're also getting some quotes on some 14-passenger, 15-passenger vans.
So what was
Um,
that bus? What year model? Do we know what it sold for? Just to get
I don't know what it's, unless you tell, I don't know what it sold for. They were asking 185.
85, and then
Yeah.
it's going to be about 4,500 to add USB ports, charging ports for the kiddos.
Yeah.
It sold this morning.
We're looking at, they do have some other options that we're going to look at. I don't know if they were quite as good a deal as that, but we're going to keep watching for those deals. And now that we're a part of the purchasing cooperative, we can move faster if we find one that we like.
Yes. The other one that came up today actually is a 72 passenger. It's a school bus, but it would be similar to our yellow activity buses. Coach Hollenberg he can kind of give input on that too. But these new ones, they put air conditioners in them and fancy them up a little bit, tint the windows, things like that spiff them up a little bit. I got the quote on this one today. This is a 2020. It's a diesel, 72 passenger, which when they say 72 passenger, that's 3 kindergarten kids. So it comes out to about 44 students, which is basically what our big buses run. They run 44 to 46 passenger. That one that's coming in, and it's going to have about 5,000 miles on it. So it's a brand new bus for almost 108. New one is 152. So that's one we're looking at. Can we talk about the 14 passenger van?
Sure.
I have some information. I research everything, and I've been looking at. Let me trade you. I think that was my original message.
Something secret on it?
No, sir. That was just the back. That was front to back. It's a little lighter. So this 14 passenger van is a Dodge instead of a Ford. I'm trying to give you one. Fords right now are almost impossible to get because of Amazon.
Yes.
Amazon's taking all all the transit vans.
And this, which is a difficulty in this style. Amazon, UPS,
Yes.
they're in high demand for
Yes.
cargo delivery.
So this is a Dodge. Now on this one, there's kind of two different vehicles discussed on here. There's the 2500 and the 3500. The 3500 has a little bit more storage in the back. It's, what's the other name? There's something different about it too. Oh, it's actually a 13 passenger instead of a 14 passengers just because of seating. Some of the things about these Dodges, they're made by the same people that deck out ambulances. So they use some of the technology with the floors, being able to move the seats. It has air conditioner ducts, charging. You can see it in the pictures. The seats are a little fancy. He said he can't order them with plain seats for a little bit cheaper. But this one, the floor sets a few inches lower. Because when they redo all the flooring from the original van, it lowers the center of gravity so it's not as top heavy. It is also a little bit wider, showing a little bit safer there too. But you can see, yes, they are pricey. A used Ford with 30,000 miles, you're still talking about $50,000-$60,000 compared to a new. I think it's pretty fancy Dodge. So, but there's information on there that y'all can look at. This one here is for the 2500 version. The 3500 version, I believe, is right at 100, maybe 102, somewhere right in there. But you can see the pictures. It's a decent looking van. The flooring and the ceiling height helps with students in and out going to the back as well. They don't have to duck over and climb over seats. And on a deal like this, if we needed to remove a couple seats, we could. That track system that's on the floor. So that's just something that a 14-passenger van we would literally use every week. We probably multiple times a week. We have nobody wants. Which the small white bus that we have, you have to have CDL. And
This one don't.
This one you don't know. Anybody can drive it. I've looked at the 14-passenger small buses. Coach can tell you that the normal teacher doesn't want to even though it's a little bus, it's like a big pickup basically. They don't want to drive it because it's a bus, but they'll drive a van. So something like this would be super handy.
So are the large vans on here that are listed, the 5 of them, are
Correct.
they're 14 passengers, so it'll be similar
No,
to those?
sir.
No, that's part of the
7
problem.
Passengers
Okay.
plus a driver.
Yeah.
Large or small?
For the large.
The small's a minivan,
Yes,
it holds
it
7.
is.
So I mean,
Yes.
what?
And I even had Dent check into the idea of putting an extra back seat in those,
Yes.
and the factory said they couldn't do that because it wouldn't be safe. Because this is a niche in our fleet that we don't have. We either have the small minivan that can for 7 passengers or the bus. This I think would ease the wear and tear on our buses. This would be used quite a bit. It could be used by a teacher that doesn't have CDL, for small groups, for FFA, for FCCLA, golf, tennis,
Yeah.
smaller trips. It's going to ease the mileage on our buses.
What does Brittany say about this?
What does Brittany say? The price
Money-wise.
or
Has she
money wise?
Money.
Well, we had talked about the 185, and she was carving some funds out if we wanted to go that route, and that's still very much an option. We still have buses that we need to replace. Yeah. But if we don't have something that we can do this year for 185, we could do this, and it still will help our bus situation by easing some of the burden on our other buses and giving us a vehicle that we wouldn't. One teacher could drive this rather than usually right now we have to take 2 vans if we have that amount of students. And so we have to have two sponsors, and so it's an unfilled need, or it's a little gap in our fleet. So but we could, I think we could get this year if we want to go that route.
So this would be an addition, not a replacement for something we've already got?
It'd be an addition, yes.
Is everything, here's my question, is everything in the current van fleet up and running?
Mostly, yes. Some of them I wouldn't take them necessarily out of town. We have vans that do short trips.
Right.
Some of the older, higher mileage ones.
That softball van, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
The softball van, the welding van,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's labeled welding, the last hour of the day, they use that because our route driver that does the shuttle back and forth was having to go pick up kiddos. So that's why that one's labeled welding. So next year, that'll be another one, hopefully. But yeah, some of them are just higher miles. We have the ones that if we're going on a long trip, we designate those for the Austin trips, the Dallas, things like that. I can tell you all that the big Ranger buses that we currently have, a new one right now is pushing $290,000 to replace one of those new ones. The big coach liner buses are pushing $400,000 to purchase. The bus like this 2020, I didn't give you all a handout on that. Go on handout, I can give you that one too. That one new. It's basically, it's a school bus, a yellow bus. They can be painted white. They can be wrapped. They have air conditioners. They have chargers. We can do.
So those are the ones you're talking about, like Groover and Stratford and some of those schools they look like a school bus, but they're white and they've got graphics on them. And that's what you're talking about there on that 2020. Is that correct?
Correct. This one's a yellow. They could paint it. Personally, I don't mind them being yellow because once they get done with the activity, then they go down to a route bus. So if they're a white bus, they can't be used.
Right.
So looking forward, if we can either buy nice activity buses or activity Ranger, I'm going to call them Rangers, or yellow activity buses. Anytime, say you see those 72 passengers on the road, those are basically what it would be with air conditioning. But you're looking at about 180 to 190 on those, whereas this one's 107. We could get that bus and the van almost for what we could get.
True.
Another,
it's true.
A brand new bus.
Do you have pictures of the 2020?
It's not even in yet. He just found out about it today, so it's not. No pictures yet. 4,000 miles. It's going to be a brand new bus, and they'll go through it, recondition what needs to be.
And we'll do some research on what it was used for and check into that. We want to make sure that that we would get a good product if that's the way we want to go.
For sure. He just gave me a quick quote today.
We were getting Dent and Jeff ready to go up this week and check out the bus we've been talking about when we got word this morning that they'd sold it. So.
Yes, it were approved last night. So unless that falls through, we'll see.
And there sure might be such a thing, as you get some more information on this, we'll certainly put some together and send out an informational email with some pictures and some numbers, whatnot, individually to board members. And if need be, we'll call a special noon. We'll talk about transportation.
Yep.
What about trade-in on the old ones, the Rangers?
So the red one, no. The white ones, we would be able to trade in, but you're not going to get probably a few $1,000s for them. It's not going to be.
There.
Yes, sir. Truthfully, even the red one, if we needed an extra bus, the red one is still running. It's reliable. It has its little issues, But I have
what they are.
Coaches,
You can deal with that.
Yes, sir. I have coaches that request the red bus. It's the quietest bus.
Right.
Can we start a pool on what year the red bus finally retires from the
Yes, sir.
It'll be a big
Yeah.
Right now, it's one of our more reliable buses.
And if I used to drive.
If you know what's wrong with it, you keep fixing it.
Yes.
Keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
It's non-deaf.
Isn't that's exactly right?
That's
right.
a huge bonus.
Yes.
And it doesn't have great air conditioning.
No.
Yep.
But
It's good in the fall.
Yeah, using the fall and the winter.
Can we just
either
add
works.
one?
It's the best running bus we have.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things
It
you
is.
hate to get rid of it
There's no reason to.
for nothing.
Right.
It's not working.
Could another AC unit be added on top of it?
That I don't know.
They have those companies that refurb those buses, you know, and I know
Yeah.
that we've looked at that before too.
You know, that's one of those deals, Bryce, that, you know, we know what that bus has been through. We know how it's been taken care of. If you buy depending on the mileage of a bus, you know, you have no clue. But I have quotes from 77 passengers, 72s, 59s, the coach liners, I have quotes for everything whenever y'all are ready for that conversation. I can tell you that some of them have a year wait, some of them have a 6-month wait, and it's ever changing. Vans are on the ground. We could probably pick that up next week.
Yes.
That bus,
Says he has
that
2 of them in
2020, he didn't give me a date on that, but the different ones, I have about 3-4 different dealers that I've been talking to. So anywhere from Tulsa, there's one out of Houston, Lubbock, the Bluebird company out of Lubbock, Bluebird, A to Z sales, I think. I've been in conversation with him. That's another thing. Most of our buses, all but one of our buses are Bluebirds, and they're Cummins engines. They're keeping that consistency going with that could be a big bonus.
So if you guys, and I guess Dent and Mr. Brown, if we were going to go either or this year, which one would you feel like would benefit this district the most? Either the 2020 72 passenger or this van?
If I'm answering that, and Dent is welcome to disagree with me on this, I would get the van because we will probably be allotting money to buy a bus next year, and we could even get a new bus. You know, that's kind of what we're planning for. And I think that van would, like I said, fill a gap for our transportation and ease some of the burden on the other.
Okay.
I think bang for buck, that's a pretty good choice.
Okay. Thank you.
That's kind of my thoughts.
I'm not opposed to buying one or the other or both. The one thing to think about is we're having a couple of our activity buses. Right now, we're down two of our 59 passengers. One of them is now a route bus. Another one is the alternator that Mr. VA was asking about.
And that's the one that hadn't run all year.
No, that's a different one. This one's just been in the shop for, I'm going to say a month.
Oh.
Maybe a little longer.
We have to buy two of those.
Yeah, what about the
No, we
2011?
You don't have to buy it.
It saes broken at Bus Barn. It
It's
has
best to
0
get
miles
some
on
money
it.
from
That's-
somewhere that's a part of the cooperative.
That's the
That's one
one.
we donated.
No, that one's at the bottom.
That one's at the
I'm
bottom.
talking about the third one down.
That's the one that sits right next to the bus barn.
Okay,
That's the one that has all the electrical codes.
that's the one.
But they've been,
Chipping
the
away.
mechanic before
Down
Jeff
to
worked
2.
on it, and then Jeff's worked on it. Right now, it's just time. It's finding time to really focus on it. The last I knew, he thinks it's part of the wiring harness, one of the plugs. But again, I hadn't had time to do it.
It has no miles on it for a
Yeah.
13-year-old bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that one, if we can get that one running, it would be, I'm not even sure what that bus was used for, if it was an activity bus or, no, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a route bus.
I just don't want to see it end up as like a vacant car lot. So we've got 2 or 3 of them here on the list.
Yes, sir. So I can tell you the plan that's been discussed for that bus that's in the one you're talking about now, is we're hoping to have that as a welding bus, to have it fixed, and
Yes.
that would be what they use for
Taking
that.
kids back and forth.
Yes, sir. That's pending. It's getting going, and things like that. So, but that's the current plan. Yes. Okay. Another transportation. Can I give truancy update?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Brown
Oh,
asked
yes.
me
We definitely
to
need that.
kind of give some stats on truancy. I don't have a lot each month for truancy just because it's the same thing over and over basically. I did want to kind of update y'all on some of the things that through the truancy this year. We started off the year with 5 students from last year that had been to court that were still on the court load. 2 of those were sent to probation. One of them chose to get their GED, and one of them is no longer in the district, so they're not in our load. Another one was court ordered GED. 2 of those 5 were dismissed due to great attendance, and both have graduated this year. So that's a bonus. This year, new court, we had 11 students go to court. 8 were dismissed from court due to almost perfect attendance. So that was really good. 6 of those kids graduated this year. 1 transferred to a different district. 1 is still in the district. 2 of those students were sent to probation for not following court orders, and that was recently. So they're going to be starting off next year on probation with Caleb Floyd. 1 was court ordered to go back after summer school, and that student should be dismissed. So hopefully at the end of summer, 9 of those 11 students will be dismissed, and they know that coming up, they have to have great attendance. Truancy plans other than these 11 that went to court, I had 19 that got on the truancy plan and did very well, and basically their truancy plan expired, so they get off the list. 5 students that were on truancy plans weren't as good as what we hoped for. They know that next year they will start off basically on the list again. Right off the bat, if they start missing school, they'll go on a truancy plan and go to court. So that'll happen quick. Many of the students I met with throughout the year, they'll be on the watch list for next year. Just a number that I came up with. I record a lot of my meetings with the kids. I'll put in who I met with, what we talked about, everything. I had about 410 student meetings this year, and many of them that I met with last year did great this year, and I don't even know how many. I should have went through and checked, but most of them graduated this year that I met with last year. So some students do very, very well. Some they will continue to be an attendance problem until they get there. But for the most part, they did very well. So any questions about that? I threw out a lot of numbers there.
And I'd just like to say that, Stan, I asked him to talk to you guys about this because as we were running over this in our meeting last week, I just was very pleased. There's many of the students he's worked with, gone to truancy court with, that have come out and had good attendance.
Okay.
So I think there's always going to be some students that are not going to have good attendance no matter what you do. But I think Dent is kind of the filter that is catching those and the ones that are remediable, I guess is what I would say. He's catching them and getting them in a process so that their attendance increases and therefore they have a better chance at graduating. So I thought that was looking over just the data. I thought it was well worth talking about.
And Miss Little and Mrs. Wheeler and Mrs. Jackson, I'm in constant conversation with them, talking about kids. They're putting things into place now that are helping throughout the schools. denying credits that kids are figuring out. If you don't go to school, you're not getting credit.
Yep.
So they have been a huge help for us. Good. Thank y'all. Sorry to go so long.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks
it's
for
all
information.
informative. Thank you.
Good stuff.
If y'all have any questions, let me know.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Yep.
Thanks.
Ranger Roundup is Ted right here.
Hello. I have Alex with me. She is one of our lead infant teachers, and I've been sharing a little bit about the registered apprenticeship program for the CDA. And so Alex is going to be her first year and her first milestone. So I wanted to bring her to talk a little bit about what that program was.
It's a good learning opportunity. I can learn things and bring them back to my classroom, and it's professional development can be taken, and whatever I learn the same day benefits, I can get my credential at the end and become better myself.
Thank you. She's a little bit shy. She works with our babies. It's funny to watch how she is with adults, and then she's like just out there with her babies, laughing.
Babies are nice.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did want to add that on May 30th, ECI will come out and do developmental screenings for children at no cost to our families. And that Ranger Roundup, so I also shared that information with Ms. Hubley, so that if there are any other people out in the public who would like to take advantage of this opportunity at our building, it's going to be at no cost to the families. Any questions?
Your staff shortage, is that because you lost your high school kids for the summer, or this is an ongoing thing?
Everybody got summer fever. I'll be honest, we got summer fever. We're open year round, and even though that's something that we're very open about during the hiring process, when summer hit, a long time off. So just kind of going through that right now. But we actually will be hiring a few extra high schoolers this summer to help supplement that, and then so we can hire people.
And I would just like to tell you, Desiree and I talked this week, and we're looking at possibly raising some salary hourly rates for our workers there. We're getting outpaced by everybody. Yeah, by other daycares in the area, by McDonald's, by the pool, and so hiring is more difficult for her. So we're looking at doing some hourly rate increases to help her out in hiring. We're crunching some numbers for her.
So thank you, Mr. Brown, for your time this week. I did call him literally one night, and I called Brittany and Liliana and said I need to get on Mr. Brown's calendar. What's the next availability? And literally it was the next morning. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And Brittany as well, I just really appreciate all the support that we always receive. But when I can call and say, hey, we need to do something about this, and we can have those conversations immediately, that's why I can keep people like Alex and be able to continue to do what we're doing. So.
And I didn't realize
Thank you.
that those high school kids can be a pathway to them being employees
Yes.
later. They can start using some of those hours as high school aides
Yes.
to work on
Kind of a grow your own deal.
Yes.
Very much a grow your own deal. And so that is actually a really good opportunity for us, not only for them to work in daycare, but get them interested in education and practice teachers. So Desiree that's a really good avenue for us for kids. So she's doing.
Thank you so much. And an update for you from our last conversation as well. My teacher who we thought was leaving has decided to stay another year.
Right.
So we are hoping she looked at another state, and after our conversation this morning, she decided to go ahead and get certified in Texas. So,
Hooray.
Of course, our girl around is hopefully that they will come and teach. It's a nice feeling.
It doesn't always work, but
Yep.
we hope it does.
Yeah.
Thanks, Desiree.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Curriculum and instruction.
Thank you.
I will say Ms. Hale. Would that be still proper?
That's still proper. Thank you.
Okay.
Doctor?
Mm-hmm. Dr. Hay.
Okay, shut.
Just Donna, Ms. Hill.
Okay, Dr. Donna?
She's keeping the doctor part under wraps.
Keeping that kind of on the
Okay.
down low.
Not anymore.
Yes. I first want to give a big shout out to the high school, to Paige and Randy and the staff there. Paige sent an email yesterday to Mr. Brown and I that they are projecting anywhere between 95 to 96% of this year's graduating class meeting CCMR.
Yes.
Wow.
So that is a huge
Remember-
accomplishment to all of those those faculty and staff, and some have worked really, really hard to get that high percentage.
If I can sneak in here, she specifically called out 4 teachers that helped immensely. Miguel Escobar in English and Debbie Herbert in math, and our 2 welding instructors, Zane and Zach. And Tyler's, it's Charlie, not Zane and Tyler. Yes. All right on that? Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Somebody's got to keep them in line.
Confusion, yeah. I've got to.
It only keeps track of like 4,000.
But they worked extra hard to get both in welding, to get kids, our seniors welding certified, and to make sure that we had seniors qualify through the college bridge. So again, this is a lagging indicator. So it's not like this will be next year's scores, but I think it's the next year's scores will show 96 rather than the 53 or so we had 2 years ago. So lots of progress in some very little time, thanks to some hard work by some people at the high school. Sorry, thank you.
No, thank you for adding that. I don't have a lot to add to the report. I do want, we have some AP testing dates still going on this week. The curriculum and instruction staff have put together, and specifically Clara Simmons has done a fantastic job of creating what's going to be a teacher resource page. You're able to get to it if you have a Perryton ISD email account, so it's not open to everyone. There are some trainings in there that we felt were better for them just to work on them on their own. They can watch the videos. They can get these out of the way with, so they'll have a comp day in December if they get them done early. And it's just kind of a hub where they can go for information on all the different sorts of programs that we offer. She's also working on something similar for parents for each campus of gradebook. How do you parent square? How do you set that up? Just some very user-friendly information that we think would be beneficial to our parents as well. So.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're lost.
You're
The
lost.
kindergarten parents are lost.
Well, hopefully this will fill that void.
Yeah,
And so if you have
we
any
can help you out,
suggestions as a parent, please holler at us and we can make sure we add that to it. Okay. There are the tentative dates for student registration for next year. We have August 5th for junior high, 12th for elementary, the high school in Ludi, and August 13th also again for the high school. So those are tentative dates, but subject to change. On the next page, these are our professional development dates we have lined out for the year. Those, for the most part, are pretty well set. There could be some movement in there as we continue to figure out our needs, especially when we are getting our STAR scores back the first of the month. But several of these are going to be what they are. We did a survey. We got feedback from the teachers trying to make this professional development something that is worthwhile to them and that they're interested in. So the team, got a couple of the ladies here, have worked really, really hard in looking at the needs and what best benefits the teachers and then benefit the students. This also is going to be our last report for our CNI team, which is Ms. Campbell's ESL and bilingual report. Just point out a few things. If you have any questions, feel free to ask Ms. Campbell. She was kind enough to come today. She served 718 emergent bilingual students this year. Our dual language program is now through the 3rd grade. We will have one cohort moving into 4th grade next year. She did have to submit for TEA random validation of our Title III grant, and she received a satisfied requirements. They gave suggestions on how we can continuously to improve student, our family and parent engagement. One of the great things she's done, she started a s'mores newsletter for those parents. So it's just some additional information that can help them help their children at home. There were 2 Title III events hosted this spring. There was a language and literacy night at the campus, which was at the library, or is that something different? Okay, it was something different. And then also the post-secondary for secondary campuses of how to have conversations with their students about plans after high school. So she was, of course, busy with telepass that was going on all year. They've done pre-K registration. We're looking at 20 students have been tested for eligibility for the dual language. Ms. Chisholm and Ms. Campbell had a parent meeting explaining exactly what our dual language program is. I think there's maybe been some misconceptions of exactly what that is. So they're hoping that just some more information gave some clarity and a better explanation of what to expect if your child is enrolled in that dual language program. And we have 11 migrant students enrolled for this past year. Questions for myself or Ms. Campbell?
Remind me what Telpass.
It is the STAR version of students that are, she can explain it better than I can. I'm just going to stop there.
STAR is academic, where TELPAS is a language assessment. So we assess our EB, our emergent bilinguals, every single year to measure language growth, measure listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
And the goal is to get them off the ED list.
Yes,
to
I'm
just
very
proficient.
optimistic. TEA did reduce some of those domains.
Crazy.
Yes, and so we are very optimistic. I think I have currently about 44 students in the Williams campus that are pending. So we're waiting on results. If we could get even half of those this year, it'd be a tremendous increase. Very encouraged.
And is there a stipend for ESL bilingual certification?
For those that are teaching in
Yeah.
the ASL bilingual class, yes.
Okay, but not, and that person that got their ESL certification, were they
There's no stipend for the ESL
ESL, yeah.
certification. There is for the bilingual.
Yes.
Other questions? Okay, thank you both very much. And Miss Brittany is not here
She's
tonight,
vacationing.
so we have through page 104 of her report. Anything to add, Mr. Brown?
So we're just busy. She's busy working budget, and we're busy giving her what she needs to work budget.
So we don't have too many protests. Our revenues are going to be flat. Is that what I'm saying?
I will say I will call some attention to our preliminary values. Our preliminary values are up from last year, which is good. So hopefully, and usually that's a little bit conservative.
but it's not
When
down.
it's not down. So and that's those came in, I guess 2 weeks ago or so.
Okay. The board will now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on our agenda as allowed by Texas Government Code. List 551.074 personnel matters, 551.076 security devices, and 551.071 attorney consultation. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussions in closed sessions will take place after the board reconvenes in the open meeting. It is now 7:02.